Mrs. Bedolla here. Next, we are going to go over some partial sums. Partial sums is for addition, multi-digit addition, and it's exactly like its name says. You are literally going to take the sum of, the total of, parts of the problem. So then you're going to take those parts and put them back together. This allows us to work with 1, easy numbers, and 2, combine like terms, which is something that we're very used to doing. So let's say we were doing 82 plus 35. In order to do partial sums, we need to look for our hundreds. You don't have to always write these. I'm just doing them now to show you how we are lining things up. Your tens and your ones. So, do we have any hundreds? No. That won't apply this time, right? There's no hundreds. So I'm going to leave that blank. I'm not going to go put in zeros. I don't want to confuse myself. So I'm going to leave that part blank. I'm going to go to my tens, and I'm going to say I have 8 tens, and I have 3 tens. Well, 8 tens, if I count up by my tens, 3 more tens, means I'm actually saying 80 plus 30, right? Because by this being in the tens, that's telling me this is 80. If I were to expand this out, it would be 80 plus 20. Plus 2. This one would be 30 plus 5. So this is the tens that I'm putting together. Don't get stuck because you're taking 8 and 3 and saying, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, it's 11. Nope, I'm missing something there. Because these aren't just 8 and 3, they're 80 and 30, which means that 80 and 30 is 110. Then I can go to my ones. Now my ones, of course, I don't have to add a 0 to. They represent singles, ones. 2 and 5 is only 7. Now I can add these together. And of course, I'm adding straight down. So 0 plus 7 is 7. 1 and 0. 1 and 0, I've got 117. I've already figured out the problem. This is my answer. So let's look at that again. This time we're going to add those hundreds in. So let's say we had 229 plus, 502. We still are going to do, you don't have to write these on the side. I'm doing it as reminders so you can see where I'm pulling from. You can do your 100s, your 10s, and your 1s. And make sure that you are lining up correctly. Again, if you need to put lines so you can see how to line it up, you're more than welcome to do that. So I'm going to start with my hundreds. And I have 2 and 5. But I don't really have 2 and 5. I have 200 and I have 500. Now if I count up by hundreds from 500 2 more times, I get 700. So that is what I'm going to put in there. And you can see that each spot has its own designation. Now, my 10, same thing. It's not just 2 and it's not 0. But there are no 10s here. So really, I'm only needing the 10s from here, which would give me 20, and then my ones, 9, 10, 11. You can see that I lined these numbers up to make sure that those 10s stay together. If I did not have those lines, could it end up shifted where it said 720 and 11? Yeah, and then would my numbers add straight down? No. So we need to make sure we're lining it up correctly. So we have, adding straight down, 0 plus 1 gives us 1. I'm going to lift that up a little bit so you can see it a little better. 0 plus 2 plus 1, 3. And 7, nothing else, that means it's 7. So 731 is my answer. Let's do one more. See if I can put it more towards the top. So let's say we were adding 616 plus 422. We're going to start with our hundreds. then our tens, then our ones. We know that then we're going to add them all together. So our hundreds first, we have 600 plus 400. Well, if I count up by hundreds, I go 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Wait, I don't have a 1,000 column. But because I'm doing my hundreds, I can put it in that column. I just gotta make sure my 1 comes out here, right? And 1,000 has 3 zeros. So I need to make sure I have all 3 zeros. Now I'm gonna go to my tens. I have 10 and I have 20, right? That's what those represent. So again, if I count by tens, and I start at 10 and I say I gotta go 20 more, so that's 2 more times, I can say 10, 20, 30, 30, and put my 30 in there. And last but not least, my ones. I can count up from 6 by 2, 6, 7, 8, and I have my 8. Oop, kind of a funky 8, but it's an 8. There we go. Now, again, I'm adding straight down. So 0 plus 0 plus 8. 0 plus 3. 0 plus nothing. Still 0. And of course, our little lone 1 out here. Now, for 1,000, I do need to put a comma. Most of the time, you won't run into the 1,000 when you're doing this at home because we're usually using under 1,000. But in case you did, I wanted to make sure that you saw how that looks and how we end up dealing with that since we don't have our own thousands column, right? Let's do one more. And I'm gonna actually go to smaller numbers here. Let's say you're doing this with 71 plus 33. I'm not gonna put this time the hundreds, the tens, and the ones because I know that's what I am doing. So I'm gonna say I got no hundreds, okay, so my tens I have 70 and I have 30. So 70, 80, 90, 100. Now I know I gotta do my ones. So for my ones, I have 1 and 3. Wow, that's 4. So I'm gonna put that up there, right? And I'm still adding. So I'm gonna add straight down, and I get 104. So you don't have to put the numbers on the side. That's just as you're first doing it to remind you that that's how you're separating out the numbers. So now that we've walked through it a few times, go and practice it on your own. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments. And hopefully that explained it quite well for you. Have a great day.